It's whirring forever. Oh gosh. No, we're good. We're good. It stopped the endless whir. And you see, I don't mind talking through it because I just didn't want to do the millennial pause. When someone pointed that out now, oh gosh.
The
I'm paranoid about it. Can't be doing it. Can't be doing it. Anyway, folks, welcome to Double Feature Horror Show, episode 232. We are starting off a brand new arc and covering High Plains Drifter. Why are we covering High Plains Drifter? Because this new arc is about horror leaking into other genres. You might call it camouflaged horror, hidden horror, whatever you want to call it. The idea is something that is effectively a totally different genre, but really under the surface there is some sort of deep horror mechanics going on, either mechanics or what it's trying to evoke. And High Plains Drifter is where we're going to start. This is not the typical Western that someone might have expected when they rocked up to the latest Clint Eastwood movie in 1973. So thank you for channel members for suggesting this arc. I was kind of hoping you'd go for this one. Usually I am massively out when they vote, but this time you nailed it, guys. You nailed it. I will not be covering this alone. Of course, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host Murgoot.
Greetings all. This is a fun one today.
I gave you the choice of two, and I am so glad you went for this one.
Oh, I'm an old school Western fan. I love the cheesiness of John Wayne's super heroic ones, and I love the just the dark and gritty stuff, the spaghetti westerns, Leone and Siegel and Eastwood, and they're just brilliant. So
yeah, I appreciate it. And you had a few other good recommendations which were nice as well. So this I'm glad you're in your element. Also, this got the waifu seal of approval. She was hooked. She loved it. One of those ones we started a bit late and was like, oh, tired. Little Horror Show's going to wake up at 5 a.m. again. We'll probably just watch half tonight, She was so hooked. So hooked. Not even watch it in halves. We watched all the way through. So, big waifu seal of approval here. Also joined, of course, by our That Citrus guy. What's going on, big guy?
Hello, chat. How was your weekend? Hello, Horror Show. Murgoot, how was your weekend? If you're wondering what the oranges are for,
check it out.
We're all wondering what the oranges are for.
Yeah, what are the oranges for? To be revealed. To be revealed. I'm so glad there is wonderful lore going around. She loved Eastwood handling that hooker. Yeah. Didn't quite make our favorite women getting slapped selection, but it was well done. Let's put it this way: waifu had some questions. I'm not going to lie. Before we kick off let's try that again. Before we kick off and do the analysis, I'll do all the usual YouTube stuff that you expect me to do. Of course, we keep the lights on around here with that. And fund my White Russian habit. Cheers, y'all. I nearly went into the Ed Dutton thing. Prost, Skull, Schlanche, etc. You watch too much of someone, you pick it up. So if you want to keep me doing all that, keep me enjoying my Armagnac or White Russians and buying all the horror research material, then please do support the channel either via Super Chats, which Distant Night has already kicked us off with, or by joining as a member either here or on Subscribestar. Both are super appreciated. And if you join as a member, you get to vote on the arc. You get something if you want covered, all sorts of good stuff, and the exclusive content as well. On the Super Chat side of things, Distant Night for 10 Aussie dollars. Thank you very much. $1 Million Horror Edition. $1 Million Extreme Horror? What am I missing? DK, what am I missing here? I very much appreciate the Super Chat. I do not understand it, and I'm only an eighth of the way into this white.
About the only thing I can think of is Eastwood and Morgan Freeman starred in a second film together called $1 Million Baby about women's boxing.
There
I
we
was going
go.
to say that's the
I
one. I think
enjoyed
that's the
that
only thing
one.
I could think of.
I enjoyed that film. I enjoyed the Scary Movie parody of it a bit more, but what can I say? I have a guilty appreciation of Scary Movie.
I don't think there's anything to feel guilty about.
No, the first is genuinely good and genuinely full of clever observations.
And
And then the rest of them I struggle.
Leslie Nielsen's always a bright light to see in those films.
Did he rock up in them?
Yeah, he was in Scary Movie.
I've only
3.
seen 1 to 3. Oh,
Yeah.
he was in 3.
He was in 3.
I've
don't
forgotten
know.
it was that
it
long ago. I saw it in
Oh.
cinemas.
Awful
Yeah.
movie, but I laughed my way through it. Was Dracula Dead and Loving It with Leslie Nielsen. I laughed
it was
my
alright.
way all the way through that.
I think he's in 4. Yeah, he's in 4 and 5 as well.
Goodness me.
There you go. There you go.
Pandajit is all set, beer and a bottle of whiskey, and smells like a whorehouse because someone dropped a bottle of perfume in the kitchen. Nice, very nice, and also out. That's quite a few quid gone, isn't it? But I'm glad you're ready to go. A few people looking forward to this one.
Apparently so.
Leslie Russell has picked up my background. Well done. Yes, indeed. Put myself in the overlook because, of course, this channel is always overlooked. Laku asking, did we used to get more views? No, we have never gotten views. Never.
That's the whole. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. We've had a couple of streams do well. Well, I say a couple. We've had a few go well. And we've had.
Well, I mean, we could probably make it take off, but we'd have to switch things up a bit, and we'd have to. How do we spice it up? Like, you'll never believe what happens in this horror film. Check this out. Can we do that?
Yeah, and then we just play the film.
Yeah, we'll just play the whole damn film.
Yeah.
People already expect us to be doing pirated movies because I see like a 2-hour stream with the title and be like, "What? This isn't a pirated movie. You lied to me." And we're like,
I saw that. I was looking for this film for Mr. Gently Benevolent because he was asked because I watched it on Sky Cinema and obviously being from the other side of the world, I was like maybe there's an online version of it somewhere. So I looked on YouTube and there was a video that had this it was like the same length, an hour and 41 minutes, right? But it was clearly titled as a review, facts and things to know about this film. And the first comment was, "We want to watch the movie, not hear someone talk about it." And I just went, "Well, then watch the movie. Like, what are you doing? The title's clear.
Pay for it."
Yeah,
pay for it or learn to torrent.
Titled
I know.
High Plains Drifter on YouTube, and it turned out to be this DeFalco's Spanish remake with English dub, and it was awful.
That's a tricksy way to go around it, man. Double feature. Oh, that's what we should really do. Distant Nights on the money. Hang on. Let me see if I can do this.
Okay.
Oh, you can't see the chair. You just got my ghost hand. I assure you there is a chair here. Why is my chair invisible? That's so weird. I was trying to give you the empty chair of the content king, but alas, what can I do? So I'm afraid as we are committed to doing long form horror film analysis, going into the details, going on weird tangents, and talking excessively about the role of the British Board of Film Classification in how we got films, I'm afraid we'll never be able to get those mega big views. So for that reason, we love you for turning up even more. You dedicated few who want to hear horror movies discussed in the way that we like to discuss them here. That was almost smooth.
I thought it was very smooth.
Thank you. Right. There we go. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's cover High Plains Drifter. A bit of an anomaly. For anyone who there it is, the content king.
Hold on.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
Where's the dog with the shock collar?
I'm not that cruel, Murgoot. I ain't that cruel.
Yeah. Oh. Well, folks, let's get into this. This is an interesting one. This is being made. Well, actually, Murgoot, you're probably best pitched to describe this one. Where is this coming in, like the Hollywood Western cycles?
Basically, you had the high-speed battle stuff, the conquering of Indian land in the 30s and early 40s. Then you got the romantic ones with John Wayne or John Glenford. You got some gritty ones in there like High Noon. And then you got the 60s with Siegel and Sergio Leone, the spaghetti westerns, which were a lot darker and more sarcastic. And then Clint Eastwood, he took the best of both worlds and then turned up the darkness hardcore.
It feels like, from my very outsider, limited exposure perspective, like this is sort of the phase of a genre where it's been covered enough and it's familiar enough that now you start to want the variations. You know, people start to say, like, your slasher gets a bit meta, or your monster movie has a few extra twists and turns or other ways of looking at it, because you're familiar with it enough that you can explore stranger interpretations of it, and people even welcome that.
Yeah. John Wayne really didn't like Eastwood's style because he turned up the grit and the darkness far too much. John Wayne preferred the more heroic anti-hero versus the anti-villain that Clint Eastwood liked portraying. Either this is Eastwood's first, this is his directorial debut with westerns, and you can tell because it is rough around the edges, but he took a lot from his experience with Leone and Siegel and watching a lot of John Huston stuff. This is, as he put it, there's no good, bad, there's only survivors. And John Wayne despised that. That's why he refused to work with Clint Eastwood.
Oh, that's interesting, Laura. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It is a clash of worldviews. Like, I can respect the call for, like, just having pure heroics. Like, this kind of, that dialogue, that dialectic has come up in reference to, like, Lord of the Rings versus Game of Thrones. Like, you can't have just pure heroics. You need, like, the grit and the grimness. And I was like, well, that's kind of in Lord of the Rings, but it's interesting to see it reach other genres as well. Yeah, I definitely think we're in a period where we're getting something grittier, something darker, more anti-heroic. And at this point, Clinton wanting to do this, I think it was the fact that it was different enough with something he's really familiar with, that this is why he wanted to put his stamp on it. Definitely agree that it has a few rough around the edges aspects, but overall, I think a lot of the choices that he makes are really quite fantastic. Like, I don't know if it's just, so I had some theories that some of the things he does are from just like irritations he has as an actor, you know, like things like, where's a good shot of it? Here we go. So one of his decisions, and I gather this is a bit of a rarity at the time, is he insists on shooting on location, and he literally built the town as it is.
Yeah,
Like,
he built it on Mono Lake, which is a spectacular backdrop, but everybody's like, well, it's perfect. They have drinking water. No, Mono Lake is a salt lake. It's an isolated, no inlet lake. It's all rainfall. It's beautiful. Last I've only been there once, and that was in the early 90s. And it's got on the other side of the lake from where they filmed it, it's got salt pillars coming out of the lake because of the high salt content. It's not as salty as the Dead Sea, but it's close. It's absolutely beautiful around there.
Nice. Yeah. That sort of makes it a little weird. Yeah, it makes it a little weird if you know that fact about it. Like, for me, it just looks serene. It's fantastic. But yeah, his decision to just literally build the entire town so that he had the freedom to go straight inside the buildings. He didn't have to sort of mess around with, let's go for my script supervisor. Right, we're going to do this bit on set, and then when we move inside, we're going to have to stop and go to studio for that bit. Like, you can imagine that would be a massive, you get used to it, but you imagine that is a massive pain in the bum that you've got to have. You just can't shoot different bits on the same day. You've got to, film all your location stuff, then it's back to the studio. If you want to correct something, it's a massive logistical pain. I can see, my intuition is that is why he wanted to do it and just work on a real set, and not have to ever go back to studio. I think that's my little inside theory for why he did it. But
yeah, John Goris, yes, the seagulls make it spooky. Mono Lake has seagulls, as does the Great Salt Lake of Utah, just because it is saltwater. And it's saltwater fish, brine shrimp, that kind of thing. And seagulls are the rats of the bird world, even more so than pigeons. They'll eat anything. As Carl Sargon found out, they'll swipe it from your hand.
2019 UKIP Days law. My goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, Mono Lake is spectacular.
And it's a very good choice, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. TCG, you much of a Westerns guy? Is this no? You neither.
No, I've never really been that big of a fan of them, to be honest with you. And I will say that when I watched this film, I came into it with a very sort of preconceived notion as to what I was going to be expecting, as I made it very clear in our Discord convos beforehand. So yeah, having to, I sort of had to sort of reset the rage, I think, and look at it from the angle that I think the film was trying to go in. And yeah, needless to say, my opinion of the film changed quite radically. But yeah, I thought it was going to be some just for clarification. I thought it was going to be just some sort of like good guy, bad guy scenario, and I'm just thinking, this is the good guy. What the?
Nah, this is
I realize that now. Yeah, big time.
It's a lot of people who didn't understand that this was a almost supernatural tale. This is a lot of people believed that Unforgiven, the 1992 classic, was the sequel to this unofficial sequel. Have you ever seen Unforgiven?
No.
Oh,
I know I need to
give it a watch.
Okay.
It's a must watch. Even if you're not a fan of Westerns, Eastwood and Morgan Freeman as retired gunfighters.
It's not
back into it.
To be fair, it's not that I'm not a fan of Westerns. It's just you know, it's just not one of the things. It's just not my go-to. I've always said if there's a like a TV show, like I'll use Family Guy as an example. Like I'll watch Family Guy if there's nothing else on. I'll watch it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to. I wouldn't go out of my way to be like, oh my god, right, Family Guy's on it this time. I must be on it. New episodes, yada yada. If there's nothing else on, I'll watch it. And that's kind of how I am with westerns. It's if there's nothing else on, I'll give it a watch. I don't hate them. I don't dislike them.
They're definitely around when we're because like you and I are about the same age. They were definitely around, but they were always on at sort of like a weird. They're on at like pensioner times of day. This is my strong memory. Growing up, they'll be popped on at peak pensioner hours.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you know.
Talk about coincidence. Funny thing is, I don't know if this is coincidence or just fate, but you know, obviously we've been watching Supernatural again. We picked it up. We're on season 6 now. The episode that we watched tonight, Sam and Dean traveled back to the 1860s and had like a Wild West sort of special. And what was even funnier, all right, because it's mental foreshadowing. When they introduced themselves, obviously Dean introduced himself as Marshall Clint Eastwood.
Hey.
Okay. And he introduced Sam as Walker Texas Ranger, which might not sound much, but when they actually rebooted the show a few years ago, and Jared Padalecki actually was cast as Walker Texas Ranger.
Seriously?
Wow. Yeah, and you know, this episode came out in 2011, so and the show ended in 2020, so it was after that. So yeah, it was a good 10, 11 years after that episode that he actually landed the role as Walker Texas Ranger. Yeah,
a weird coincidence. That is a very weird coincidence. I see people. We've got a few Western fans here. Unforgiven, not always getting the glowing reputation. I've heard good things. I fancy it. I do fancy it. And Purgatory is also a good supernatural Western. Murgoot, you said that we could have maybe better looked at Pale Rider, which is a follow-on to this, a later one, and a bit more explicit about its supernatural element.
It's somewhat more subtle. It's not directly. They don't talk about hell. They don't. But he does play the preacher. He does have the gunshot wounds. He does have the holes in his coat and his back. It's alluded that he's the Pale Rider. He's the angel of death. Come on the pale horse. He's one of the 4 horsemen. But yeah, this one is far more in your face near the end, where he repaints the sign hell and paints the entire town red and burns half of it down.
That's what I love about it, man, is just like you're very bought into this film before it really sticks the knife in, and really quite commits to the horror. I mean, let me pull up a few bits for it. Like by the are we going to see that? Okay. By the time the sort of the trio of bandits return, that archetype are in celebrating their victory over the townspeople who are meant to be defended. By the time he comes back and just sort of pulls the old whip through the door and pulls this guy up, like that is a proper slasher style scare.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
in response to Lako
someone like this.
In response to Lako Teiko recommending Purgatory, yes, it's a very shamanic film. It's very, very, very bizarre. The dream sequences, the drug sequences are very bizarre. You can find it on YouTube for free as Blueberry because it's based off of the what's the term for it? The French graphic novel. They love Westerns, and Blueberry is one of the long-running ones, and it's brilliant. Razor Fist recommended the graphic novels, and then I found Purgatory as Blueberry, and it's an absolutely bizarre film, but I really loved it.
Nice. Jay Anderson is John has said windows are very prominent in westerns. It's just I think, and Murgoot can correct me, but I believe that sort of trope is just there because when violence is a bit more restricted, you can make an attack look really impactful by having someone smash through something. It just looks good. If you can't really show someone bleeding, throw them through a window, and you can, in the wrestling parlance, you can sell it better.
Hit them with cheap furniture, toss them through a window.
Yeah. Horror films, Friday the 13th, a huge fan. They loved throwing people through windows.
Oh, yes.
Constantly breaking through windows and doors. Yeah. Very true. Very true. And of course, that did not have the restriction on violence. But then this doesn't either. There's quite a lot of claret in this. Yeah, you are so hooked into this movie before you're just seeing stuff like this, and it's just absolutely blatant. But even before we get that, I like that comparison, John. Yeah, the whip at the end feels straight out of an old Mario Bava film. Yes. Yeah, it's got that vibe, hasn't it? But even before this, there is there's a subtle element. I realize we need to do the plot summary, but there's like a subtle horror here where the town doesn't realize the joke is on them. Like lots of things that Eastwood does that is kind of played as a comedy. Where is it? Yeah, it's played as a comedy when he's basically told he can get whatever he likes. And we get one moment that I know TCG was not a fan of, which we will, of course, discuss because it's unintentionally hilarious.
Okay.
Well, I love the fact that he made the despised dwarf Malachi the sheriff, and the only two people clued in at the end besides the stranger are Malachi and what's her name, the lady of the evening.
Carrie?
Yeah.
What's her name? Kaylee. What's her name?
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Kaylee.
I'm so glad.
Kaylee or Callie, and the other woman is Sarah.
I was just relieved. I was just relieved that Clint Eastwood's character was called the Stranger. We didn't catch your name. No? I was like, shit. Did he?
Yeah.
Did he hit?
Didn't give it.
Yeah.
Oh, Normie, there is.
Oh, just a few, Normie. Yeah. We will discuss that in some quite depth. So the thing in this that I think is the kind of subtle horror is they do not realize when they give him what he wants. You know, there's like a light horror, light humor in like, oh, he's just kind of a man of the people giving stuff away. Oh, it's a man of the people having a joke at the barman. It's round on me, etc. But there's also stuff like there is horror as he is just wrecking them. He's wrecking their social order and mocking them by putting Mordecai, this despised dwarf, as the mayor and the sheriff. And they don't realize he is just destroying their economy. He's destroying their town. All the sort of prosperity that they've built up from their illicit actions, he is sort of wrecking it as he goes. It's funny, but also he is really showing his contempt for them when he does all this.
He's getting revenge not only on the people who killed him, as you gather through the film, he's getting revenge on the town for just hiring the gunman to kill him and then standing by and watching instead of helping out. He's getting revenge on everybody, and the only Sarah, the wife of the inn owner, the quote was, Be careful, you're a man who makes people afraid, and that's dangerous. And in reply, it's what people know about themselves inside that makes them afraid.
It's such a great line.
It's what clues her into exactly what's going on.
It's such a great line. I love it. And people are already picking up some of the glory of this. Like SG, absolutely, man. This was the first watch for me, and it's an incredible one. We're gonna pull some of the things apart from it.
I love that avatar.
Yeah,
that is a slick
it's
avatar.
swanky.
It's
a swanky avatar, man. Yeah, we'll hopefully find, if you're a fan of it already, hopefully we'll find some new details in it that you will like. For instance, I mean, John Goris has already picked up on something that we found. Yeah, I've got the where is it? Yes, the first whip crack that he hears, and he just is right there, and then he instantly reacts to it, swings his head round. I haven't used a blurry image, but he's, he is triggered by it, as you say. It's a great little bit of subtle foreshadowing, as is this great shot. The Undertaker's just there waiting for him. I love it. It's such a nice little detail. He's riding in, gets in acknowledgement from the Undertaker. Absolutely fantastic. And Joe is also correct to say there's lots of overlap with Yojimbo. Yojimbo is indeed absolutely fantastic. I love the stuff that you're highlighting there. The massive use of grotesques in it. But also something I loved about Yojimbo is just like that moment when this horrible guy, this useless creature, gets his hands on a gun, and like the whole dynamic of their society is flipped over, and it's this really it's just an incredible moment in the film, and you sort of realize it's almost like a genre just explodes there, like the samurai movie. Like, why is there a gun in it? Suddenly, oh no, all the dynamics I know about are off. I don't know what's going to happen in this film from this point. There's some nice reactionary tones in Yojimbo. I'm a massive fan of it. I almost ended up talking about it on a film festival, but I ended up discussing Megan instead. So, yeah. Oh, hello, August Seidling, who sent $5. Thank you very much, saying, I feel it's worth mentioning that many of the people who worked on spaghetti westerns went on to work on giallo films. Lots of prospect. Indeed. I would not be surprised by that, but I did not know it explicitly. Yeah, thank you ever so much.
The man who laughs. The man who laughs.
Yeah. Cheers, August Seidling. Another classic avatar there. Excellent stuff. All right. Oh, did Yojimbo also have the coffin maker? It's been a while since I've watched it. I need to do it again. In fact, I kind of fancy doing a bit of a Kurosawa season, because it's been way too long since I've seen that and Ran and all the other good stuff. Anyway.
Well, the friendly neighborhood Undertaker is a running gag throughout Westerns because of the radio play Life of Riley. They had a character called Digby Odell, the friendly neighborhood Undertaker, and it was a riot. And they used it a lot throughout Westerns and some noirs. They just pointed to it just because it was so popular.
Oh. So a little hint this way as well, maybe. A little hint of it in this. Before we go further, actually, shall we do a quick pint of Guinness summary for anyone who didn't manage to do their film watching?
Go on, Murgoot.
Go on, Murgoot.
This is right up your alley. This is right up your alley. This is.
Okay. Stranger rides into town. And he gets pounced on by three gunslingers. He's harassed by them, and threatened by them and ends up killing the 3 gunslingers that are guarding the town's mine. And then they find out that the 3 men who previously guarded the place are getting removed from jail. They hire the stranger to do anything he needs to protect the town and the mine. Various things happen, but the stranger completely takes over, makes a statement to each and every person in town that, okay, the bar's going to be free. He gives the candy and the blankets to the Indians that were being refused service. He forces them to make picnic tables. He sets out a trap. He has various flashbacks to Marshall being killed by the 3 gunmen that have been released from prison. They whip him to death, which is a horrible way to die. He does unspeakable things to the town harlot. And then
that was like one of the first. Well, that was the second thing he did, basically, after killing the 3 guys at the barbers. And can we talk about that? Like,
things.
I mean, yeah, that scene when he's in that shop, and you've got the Native Americans in there, and they're like hurling the abuse at them, and the strangers just disapproval. This is I may be a R-wordist, but I can't stand the other R word. Have the candy boys and have the blankets chief. Smalltalk's free.
Yeah.
He's
an Rist, and he was allowed to choose from C or P to create the word.
Yeah.
And he went with the P.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stranger is not a nice man. He's on his own mission, and he turns the town upside down. And you figure out why by the end of it, that he is the returned marshal, or he's avenging the marshal. Eastwood he's the returned ghost of the marshal.
Yeah.
But he's getting revenge not only on the 3 gunmen that were released from prison, he's getting actual revenge on the town. Has the whole town painted red, lights it on fire for a midnight confrontation, and it just gets bloody. It's a roaring rampage of revenge. And then he says goodbye to the innkeeper's wife, who's one of 2 people smiling in town. The other one is Sheriff Malachi, the dwarf, who's finally putting up a tombstone for Marshal Jim Duncan at the end. I love the line, "What's your name, stranger? You already know," and he just rides off into the distance.
Yeah,
not super subtle, but I will allow it.
Absolutely. This was a supernatural stranger spreading his ectoplasm by force.
Yeah,
absolutely. You get through it. Dylan Roth based. You get throughout this, like, the supernatural element is very strong at the end, but there is loads of stuff in the early bit. I mean, there was a non-supernatural version of the script where he's just the marshal's brother, but Eastwood did not like that. He told them he wants the supernatural aspect, but they keep it nice and subtle. It's things like he emerges from the mist like this, like Omar Sharif in Lawrence of Arabia, just sort of
The
appears
Mirage.
like, yeah. There's things like Sarah's line about how the rumor of someone can't rest if they're in an unmarked grave, just like giving you a little bit, and then other stuff that's kind of played for laughs. Where is it? Like the very funny bath scene where he looks so much like Hugh Jackman, it's painful. But Callie comes in, shoots him. She clearly shoots. There's no way she misses, but he just comes up again. And like in all the hustle and bustle and struggle, and Eastwood makes it a really active scene. So like she shoots him at point blank range, basically. And then Eastwood throws so much action at the scene, like the chunky sheriff is like wrestling her. Mordecai's going like, oh, he keeps it a really busy frame so that you kind of forget and just move it into a comedy mode. But you come back and you think, no, he was just, there's no way she actually missed him. And you realize, that supports the ghost reading. He is just a ghost. That's why it was useless. They gave you the evidence early on. It's like, oh, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Another comedic bit was he's riding out to find the 3 ex-con gunmen and stopped by the sign.
Walton Goggins looking bro.
Lake Otaku, she is a woman
though. Repaints the town sign hell and then takes one look at it and then rides out. I was laughing at that point.
Also, wouldn't that bath be leaking by now after a few shots? Assuming the bullets could get through. Well, actually, no, I suppose because the water would slow the bullets down. Oh, okay,
maybe
overthinking it. Maybe
depends how thick it is. But it's established well. People are already on this. I was going to ask you if the town harlot Callie seemed familiar to you, but I think people have already noticed who it is. But if not, hang on. Does this jog your memory, TCG?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, absolutely. It's a Lana Del Rey lookalike. Someone say it for me. Mariana Hill.
Right.
Is she Maria or Mariana? I think she is Mariana. Yeah, that's her. That is her. What was Messiah of Evil? 72? So that was only a year before this.
Blimey.
I'm pretty sure Messiah of Evil was 72. No. Let me find it. Sure, this is riveting as I try and find it. No, it's the same darn year.
The same year. Oh my Lord.
And let's just do the comparison here. Like, she scrubs up well, doesn't she? She really scrubs up well. Literally same year. There you go. Yeah, Dr. Prepper, me too. I thought in Messiah of Evil she was absolutely gorgeous. I really was very impressed by her. Stunning. And I will say, if no one's ever seen it, I'm not going to say it's everyone's cup of tea, but Messiah of Evil I found really interesting. But a caution, maybe if you like your David Lynch movies, it's probably going to work for you. If you don't like your David Lynch, then possibly not one for you. But that film has got some incredible sections for it.
John Goris, that's a mention I haven't heard in many a year. Right Turn, Clyde. Whap. Clint Eastwood's pet orangutan. Right Turn, Clyde. Whack.
Nice.
That movie was hilarious. I need to watch it to see if it stands up.
Yeah, not many people here still remembering every which way you loosen, any which way you can. Was it any which way?
Yes.
Every? Yeah.
Every which way but loose, any which way you can. Yep.
Okay. See. Okay, Dylan's not going for my Lynch theory. Oh, well, just watch Messiah of Evil anyway. It'll be a massive break from anything you're used to. It'll give you a heck of a lot of variety. How about that? There's a ringing endorsement. Yeah, where are we? We got some interesting stuff in here. Like, for all you criticize the scene TCG, I mean, 1, nonce energy. 2, really? You're gonna give a Native American a blanket, dude? Too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon, bro.
Do you know how many of my
They were trying to buy
family
him. He
died?
just hands him over, but it's
Too soon.
it turns the conventions on the head, where the Indians are the bad guys. These are people who just trying to get what they need to survive.
Yeah, I feel we may be. I mean, the hands are up. You know, I'm a Brit Bong. I don't know a huge amount about it, but I do see trends in discussion, and this was something that came up in the research when we did that special stream on Cannibal Holocaust, which was the depiction of how, let's say, tribal societies. It's a bit of a less loaded word. Goes through cycles, and there was a big cycle early on when tribal societies, whether like Amazonian tribes or Native American tribes, were like quite acceptable targets. You know, you didn't have to humanize them. They were basically orcs that you could gun down and it was fine. And then that became a bit problematic, and you had a view to kind of almost flip it the other way.
Yeah, dances with wolves, etc., etc., etc.
Precisement. And very few.
Little big man called horse.
Yeah. We're not quite at the state where you can, unless I'm wrong, but I don't think even now we're at the state where you can have a more honest conversation and say they were people, and that they had some practices which were super no bueno, and that in a conflict of societies, very predictable things occurred in which they were often the aggressors with very bad practices, and oftentimes, you know what I'm saying. It's not like they're all good or all bad, but there was definitely some practices that are not super great. And I don't feel we're there at that balanced portrayal. Like, for instance, someone up chat mentioned the excellent S. Craig Zahler film Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk is a great movie, but they had to give you the special cut line in there where they go out of their way to have a Native American character tell you, just so you know, the characters we're going to fight for the rest of this movie aren't Native Americans. We fully distance ourselves from that. You know, it's the equivalent of Hannibal Lecter going out of his way to try and make sure that GLAAD doesn't go after them for portraying Buffalo Bill as a transsexual. It's, just a disclaimer, guys. I want that Academy Award.
Dylan Roth, I hate to disabuse you of that notion, but the Cherokee, the Sioux, the Ojibwe all had written languages, as did the Seven Nations. It's the Sioux, aka the Lakota, which is the more preferred term now. But yeah, they all had written languages.
Yeah, it's So what we're just trying to get at is, I think we're not in the place for a balanced conversation. But at the point this film is being made, I feel this it matches the character where the stranger doesn't actually want to punish anyone who did anything wrong, like, which is why he's like extremely just unapologetically benevolent to the Mexicans and to the Native Americans. But it also comes off as what we call a save the cat moment. Is that term familiar to you?
Yes.
No, yeah,
There we
no.
Okay. So TCG, there's a famous book called Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. If I remember, I should remember his name. I've got the book. And it's about screenwriting, script writing. Snyder was I think a reasonably successful scriptwriter back in the day. He wrote, if I recall correctly, Blank Check. Yeah?
Hang on, the
No.
Richard Pryor.
I've heard of it. I've never read it.
No, the children's movie. The children's movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Blank Check. Oh, that
Blank
film.
Check. That one, yeah.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, way back in the day. But yeah, he did
Yeah.
that. And I also believe Stop on My Mum Will Shoot was him.
Oh,
right? So
Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
he got Hollywood movies made, right? And I mean, maybe not a huge number, which is why he decided to write a book, but his book is really helpful. He basically breaks down an art of a standard Hollywood script into like various beats. He gives you the Blake Snyder cheat sheet, or beat sheet, which is just how you program your script. If you're struggling to make your story work, put it into this framework and it will tell you how to complete the story. And if you can do that, you can then like make it fancy, but the basic story, you can follow those steps. And he calls the book Save the Cat because he says you have to include a moment where you make sure people are on the side of the protagonist, even if they're going to be a bit of an anti-hero, perhaps especially if they're going to be an anti-hero. You make darn sure that they do something that will win over the audience, like saving a cat.
Or in James Gunn's case, for the Superman movie, save a squirrel.
Well, yeah, hey.
Literally, yeah.
Could be that. I mean, we love squirrels here. But
the
other one is
I haven't watched any Northerns, unless you can count Dudley Do Right. But I have watched the documentary that's out about the Cree-Inuit War that lasted 150 years until the British stamped it out.
We did that a bit. We were pretty
good at it.
Yeah, Paul Allen. Patrick Batman. Absolutely, yeah. What I'm getting to when I say I still think we should have the balanced film is like you got to have a film where you have the reality that the tribes were in conflict with each other and would be very brutal about it. But if anyone hasn't seen that,
the Cheyenne, the Cherokee, the Comanche. The Comanche were hated by everybody, as were the Apache.
Yeah. As with the whole thing of we're so monetizable here on YouTube, aren't we? But like the stuff with the South Africa conversation is like, the darn Boers there. It's like you're looking at the wrong framework because the black population's being oppressed in there. It's like one, you've got the Zulu and the Xhosa spread through Zulu territory, wiping them out. It's like what I'm trying to get to is it's not in a Tim Pool. It's complicated. Anyway, 20 minutes, we're out, we're done. But it is complex, and you don't want to lionize a group because of their tribal status. You probably don't want to just condemn them either. And the films are not there yet. Maybe someone's made one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me if there's a film that has a bit more of a nuanced view of things. But I haven't seen it yet.
Paul Allen, The Black Hills, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I grew up 19 miles away from Wounded Knee, the Pine Ridge Reservation. Very depressing place. Lot of conflict. And nobody was right in that conflict. Let's just say that. It's when the Wounded Knee Rebellion happened in the early 70s, when the American Indian movement started. Peltier and Russell Means got themselves raided by the FBI. My dad was delivering out into the boondocks and had the car shot by AIM members. That was kind of frightening. I was just a young kid, but I just remember my dad's station wagon having bullet hole in it for like 3 years.
Crikey Moses. Yeah.
So
you have to forgive us if we don't have a huge amount of familiarity, Murgoot. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. The Brit Bong perspective that dominates this channel is light on that stuff. We only get the hagiography in school, and in fact, the closest my school got to a detailed discussion of Native American history was, can you guess it? We were shown Dances with Wolves.
Oh,
So,
oh.
I always appreciate you.
Here I am from 1st through 4th grade. I had to learn Lakota right out. We had English class, and then we had Lakota class right after it. Because half the school was from the res.
Right. Goodness me. Oh, Distant Knight has sent in a super chat, sending $5 Aussie saying, oh, when I say we like red squirrels, we like squirrels. He's clarifying red squirrels. We don't like those perfidious invasive greys. Oh, I'm afraid I've got a soft spot for them. Squirrelus carolensis. Oh no, all squirrels, man. I love that. My particular fondness is a sort of mainland European black squirrels with the extra fluffy ears. They're lovely.
The Black Forest squirrels.
Yeah, I love them. Abbott squirrels, you may know them as, but they're fantastic. I'm less fond of the sort of really striped ones that you tend to have in America. You know?
Oh, those are chipmunks. They're not the. We have huge gray squirrels here.
I believe you do also have some striped squirrels. Malaysian giant squirrels are also awesome. We should probably talk about High Plains Drifter.
Yeah.
Not go into squirrel taxonomy. Sorry. Oh, and turns out Waifu was also shown Dances with Wolves. English schools, man. English schools. That'll do. That'll do. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, this is a save the cat moment. This is basically, even if it suits the character, I feel it's very much put in for sort of more liberal sensibilities of, you know,
Yeah,
he may have violated a couple of women until they got into it, but you know, as you said, TCG, he isn't a racist.
No, of course not. It's like when it reminds me of the I don't know if it was actually a DC comic or if it was someone just making a spoof, but you know, the Joker like flips out. He's like,
yes,
I might be evil, but I'm not a Nazi.
Yeah,
I'm not a racist. It's something like that. But it's like, mate, it just really reminded me of that. I mean,
yeah.
And bearing in mind, I was watching this from the frame of view that this was a good guy, bad guy film. And I'm just like, mate, how are you like okay with struggle snuggling women? But if somebody insults a minority, that's when you've got to step up and speak up.
You've gone too far. You've gone too far. I mean, yeah, right in the start, you do get some. He establishes very early, this is not a guy to admire.
Yeah, and I mean, like he kills 3 guys. He's killed 3 guys already. Now, I mean, he could have absolutely beat the living snot out of them because obviously they were trying to intimidate him. Fine, but you know, yeah, 3 dickheads, whatever. But you know, after he's killed 3 people, you know, the town are like, oh yeah, no, you know, actually, yeah, those they're actually not very nice people. So it's like, okay, is the film trying to tell me that he's done something? You know, that was like that'd be like me going, okay, Carl Rittenhouse killed somebody. Obviously, I know self-defense. Don't get your panties in a bunch. But then going, oh, but actually, the person he did kill, turns out it was a nonce. So actually, you did a good thing. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, you did what you had to do in that. You know, it just it's almost like they're trying to change the context of that situation to make it justifiable. You know, when that wasn't the context at all. You know,
I think they do. They hit you with some pretty tough stuff from the offstart, and then I think you are meant to come in like, or because you already like Clint Eastwood, there's a bit of a meta game going on here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's the hero, therefore it's like 12 Angry Men, that disgusting subversive movie.
It's
just poke people again. But like they know that Henry Fonda's the guy you know and like. So you are going to bring those associations in. Eastwood is guy you know and like. You're going to bring the associations in, so he can start off early on doing some really dark stuff. Like, I mean, the killing of the people is one thing, but Rob Agar did a very good job pointing. I watched him on this recently. He pointed out that the stranger, he doesn't just kill these guys; he actively baits them, just like he baits the other trio of bandits later on. You know.
The trio of bandits, but also the 4 people at the hotel. There's the 4 people at the hotel as well.
He baits them into attacking them. Like he carries, you know, he goes and sets up. First, he kind of provokes them in the saloon. Then he goes over to the barber to get
cutting a bath.
Cutting a bath, yeah. But he hangs up his belt. You see him take out a fake, what would you call it? Like fake handle of a gun.
Right.
So when they came in there, they'll have seen his holster hanging up with the handle in, and they'll have thought he was unarmed. So he totally baits them into attacking him. Now, admittedly, that's bait that's very easy to not take. So I don't have a huge amount of sympathy for them, but nevertheless, he does provoke them into attacking him so that his scheme can work.
He's out to get most of the townsfolk. He's out to get the gunmen. He's out to get the ex-cons. He's out to turn everything over on his head. Eastwood did make this as a spaghetti western style subversive film. He did a very good job with it. He turned the tropes of the western on its head all the way down the line. He's not an anti-hero. He's an anti-villain. He has a very good purpose for what he's doing, but he does horrible things on his mission.
Thanos, basically.
As we will discuss in this bit. But Panji, absolutely. I didn't get a screen cap of this, but I'm glad you said that. I did pause on it and I thought about it, but I've got about 30 screen caps as is. But you're totally correct. Yeah, we see the first shot of the graveyard is played very straight. The second time we see the graveyard right at the end, they have a few jokes. Like they put Don Siegel and Sergio Leone on the gravestones. But that's like a little laugh at the end of the movie. You can get away with it. At the start, it's played straight, and you can see the dates very prominently, like 1849 to 1880. It's like they're making it clear people are not lasting out here. It's showing you that there's a large amount of death already. It's quite nicely done, especially if you're going to be like me and pause and try and do the maths on every date that you can see in there.
Yeah, the other thing that I noticed, I think it was just a casting thing, the smallness of the town. There were no children. The only childlike person is Malachi.
Anyone want to take this one? What the hell is a hit clip? Anyone else?
Liberal hillbilly.
The idea, as I understand it, is it's the... Okay, what's the best way of describing it? It is portraying something with very trad trad aesthetics, like trad hick aesthetics, like in your pickup truck, in your denim, being a hard guy, but your actual sentiment beneath the aesthetics is pure S-lib, pure San Francisco. Like,
Thanks, Joe
I've had
Mordecai.
a hard day on the farm and my arms are tired. So when Tyrone comes round to my wife, he's doing me a favor. That's Hicklib. And I apologize for saying that. I apologize for that accent. That's one of the memes I saw of it.
Putting this back up for absolutely no reason at all.
What are the oranges for? Check this out. I apologize. I can't do American accents, folks, but you get it. It's the it's just basically to smuggle in the most progressive values possible, but give them a coating of actually this is based. Actually, this is cool, sort of thing. I think that's what the hit clip is. It was a meme going around a while. Thank you, Distant, for the five Aussie dollars. 30, you mean 330, right? Chew, right? 30? What's 30? What's that about? Help me out. What am I missing? Dylan Roth, funnily enough, hey y'all, support that game out. I don't know if you're based in America or the UK, Dylan, but look up our former Prime Minister David Cameron. He quite infamous for saying, actually, I support gay marriage because I'm conservative.
Yeah. One of my proudest achievements as Prime Minister for the Conservative Party was legalizing gay marriage. A very conservative.
Wasn't he the one who
hug a hoodie?
Pig head.
Yes.
Allegedly. Hang on. There he is.
Yay!
There's a chap.
How many hoodies have you hugged today?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, Aaron. Oh, we're so diverted, folks. If you wanted to discussion of High Plains Drifter, I swear we'll get back to it. But
Horror Show. We sort of we joke about it, but if it wasn't for good old Cameron there, you wouldn't be married.
I'm not married.
Are you not married?
No, I have a civil partnership.
Ah,
there's a bit of inside knowledge.
Oh, fair enough.
I say waifu, but obviously, for all intents and purposes, yes. But
fair enough.
I actually have.
I stand corrected.
Yes. There you go.
I do find it funny that we do share an anniversary. The anniversary.
We do. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to avoid making a really bad joke. While you've got those oranges up.
I'm not the civil partner here, and
so Aaron Anonymous here making an excellent point. Peaky Blinders is Hicklib. Absolutely 100%. Can I tell you when apologies TCG, I know you like it. I bailed out of Peaky Blinders early in season 2.
Oh, did you?
We got I did. It was I included a clip from it in when I did that Hammer Horror video with AA, and it was like early on in season 2 where Tommy Shelby's like saying, someone's complaining about women running the business. He's like, listen here, I won't have discrimination about women in the Peaky Blinders. I'm like, where's your guardian, bro? What's happened? And they just like straight up full on feminism. Anyway,
it's bad. But then it's the BBC, in it.
It is the BBC. Like, yeah, we're violent, murderous gangsters, but we do not discriminate against women. We're violent, murderous gangsters, but Benjamin Zephaniah is in our gang because we're cool. We're soul brothers.
I love you know that when I am beating my woman, I'm also respecting her at the same time.
Yeah.
I ask for consent when I slap her.
Oh yeah. Sorry for the diversion, but yeah, the hick lib and its other there are lots of variants about it, but I think just like the hick lib is the main description of it. But you do see it everywhere. You do see it absolutely everywhere. And Peaky Blinders is a great example of it.
Well, one person who is not a woman respects her. It's the stranger.
Indeed. I still want to find out what.
What's the
30 reference?
I'm not defending what he did, but she did kind of start. I mean, the way she shoved into him was a bit like over dramatic, you know?
Yeah, I want to ask you what you thought was going on there. Can you give their encounter in some detail for people?
He's just like murdered 3 people, right? And now he's walking off, and then she's walking towards him. Now I just think it's really bad acting, but she like pretty much like bang like that on his shoulder, and she's like, "Watch where you're going." And then they sort of have a bit of a back and forth, and then he drags her into a barn and shows her a time, I guess. And then you got Mordecai basically doing a quartering and sitting in the corner thinking, hey, you know,
what, peeing in their basement, or
this, you know, this isn't, I'm in a stable, you know, there's no bulls around. But that is a donkey dong.
That's the closest to the action he'd ever get to. He's more a voyeur than he is a cuck, because it's
fine distinction.
Yeah, true. Well, you know.
I
mean, jurors denied the allegations, but you know, I mean, some of his search terms it's quite.
Oh yes.
Forced something pie.
I remember. This used to be such a family-friendly stream.
That's why I said something. That's why I said something.
So I know this leading to basically a bit of forced intimacy, forced roll in the straw that she gets into. It's hard to sell nowadays, but it is kind of a complex one. I mean, I think something like Goldfinger and the way Pussy Galore is treated is a lot harder to defend. Like, that's quite an uncomfortable scene nowadays. But in this one, I think the dynamics are really interesting. You see consistently that her character kind of is used to having men wrapped around her finger. I don't know where it's later when a chap sneaks up on the stranger and tries to knife him, and the stranger's basically, buzz off, I'm onto you. You just get this shot of her like keeping an eye on it, like she clearly put him up to it. You see multiple times, like basically she clearly uses sex to get men to do what she wants. So when she comes up to the stranger initially, she's seen he's like a man of action, as it were, and she thinks, okay, he's the new thing in town. And like her trying to barge him is basically she thinks she can play him, and then he doesn't go with it, and so she gets kind of furious with him, and she thinks he'll back down. Doesn't back down.
No.
When she just escalates, it's like, okay. He starts channeling that inner Sean Connery energy, and you know. And then I don't know. I mean, I don't know how far I want to take this on YouTube, but there's a certain amount of maybe. I'm not going to take it any further. Let's put it this way: like, that kind of action with him was entirely on her intended to-do list. She just wanted to get money for it. But
maybe, maybe, you know, but you know, if she's the town bike, and I say town bike, but you know, through like mutual beneficial transaction, then but the fact that he isn't paying for it, just because she walks around, with her legs several inches, several feet apart from each other. Doesn't necessarily mean that she always says yes. And this was not one of the instances where she said yes.
You should not have done it. And I'll add to that. I mean, I'm a big defender of Straw Dogs. I think Straw Dogs is an incredible movie. It has a very challenging, notorious scene in it. I think this is up there with that. This is a bit harder to defend because it's so early in the film and you don't have as much context. But it's even harder to defend when you get basically a second round of forced Shreks, I think. And once again, the Whammon gets into it. It's where is it? And weirdly, they make quite a joke of this scene of like, I was going to go through and edit a few screen caps of Clint Eastwood in the scene where he's like, "Don't flatter yourself, ma'am."
Yeah,
I was going to give the old Giga Chad filter, but then I rethought it.
If you give me 30 minutes, I may be able to perform for you.
And then he gets up out of bed and you hear the spurs jangle. I'm like, who bears their spurs to bed? That's one ruined mattress.
Oh, Jesus. She got buried in a Y-shaped coffin. Oh, that's brutal, Joe. That is brutal.
In that way as well, like the legs were up in the air.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Tell you what, this woman actually does come out it very well, seeing as she sort of starts speaking the truth and she just bails. She leaves the place.
Yeah, I know. It's a really weird one. I mean, the whole thing is just a bit weird anyway. I mean, she's like, "I know what you are." And he's like, "Oh, what is that then?" She's like, "Well, I know you are worded, whatever her name was." No, from my perspective, she seemed to enjoy it. It's like, are we trying to walk that back now? Are we trying to retcon in the middle of our movie?
No. I will say there's an additional complexity about that, which you guys will not be surprised to hear from me, because I did wonder when I was watching this, like, hang on, this film, okay, there's an 18, okay, but I do seem to remember that is that's not exactly what we're allowed to do in Britain. That's not exactly what we're able to do, because I'm sure you guys turned up to a stream on High Plains Drifter wanting to hear about BBFC policy. I know, TCG, you saw me sharing this.
It's the only reason why people come here, because they just hope to see the BBFC.
Yeah. So I just thought people might be interested. Like, how did a film which has 2 scenes of grape gone right,
God,
where they get into it, that is specifically something that is banned. Like, I'm sure, where is it? Oh, I've blooming lost it, haven't I? Right, forgive me, I'm gonna have to find it in this again. Sorry, there we go. Right, now folks, you don't need me to tell you this. Obviously, you are going to be super familiar with the BBC FC's classification guidelines, especially the 2024 update. But just in case you haven't read them in a while,
I know I haven't.
You will know that it contains, a section on compulsory cuts, things which they really do insist on removing. And one of those is this: material that reinforces the suggestion that victims enjoy forced sex or other non-consensual sexually violent behavior. That is an explicit no-no. People may not know, but the BBFC, that is the body that issues film ratings to films to be displayed in the UK, has a fairly wide permit of what you can show, but it has some absolute no-nos. So many of which we've talked about at length in this channel, but that that is one of them that's quite a hard no-no. You're really not allowed to show someone being R-worded and getting into it. This film's got it twice. Now, these standards are, of course, maybe they weren't there around at the time. People may not remember, but the BBC only started publishing its guidelines openly from, memory serves, 2014. The rest of the time it didn't. Partly they didn't want people to basically be rules lawyering them and trying to like skirt the line, so they didn't bother telling them. But you wonder, nevertheless, this was a fairly well-known principle. So how did this get past the censors? I'm sure you're wondering. And the answer is it didn't.
Correct.
Now, it has now, for reasons that I'm a bit confused about. For instance, look at this description here. There is a grape scene without strong detail. It's clearly in violation of the guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And another scene, a man attempts to grape, but collapses. I think that's talking about the second scene, and I don't think that's at all what happens in that scene.
I was thinking, so are you talking about the woman who eventually was like, yeah, go on then, and then like is all like caring? So it happens before. There's a bit. It's the same woman, where he's like, I want a guest for dinner, and he sort of tries it on a bit then, and I think she sort of goes with it because she's under duress at that point, and he's still has his way with her, and I'm thinking like she's probably gone along with that to save her own hide in case he he's capable of doing that. And you've already seen that he's capable of killing 3 people. So there's every reason to suspect that,
so it's the second time with Callie.
I think it's there that happens. Because the next thing you see is him, is she wakes up in the middle of the night to creep out.
Yeah.
So clearly something's happened. I think it's there. And maybe he, flunks it. I don't know. Well, it probably didn't flunk it actually, because he then says to that woman that same night, like,
that they enjoyed themselves.
30 minutes. Yeah.
If they're talking about the second Callie scene, in that case, they still haven't addressed the one with Sarah, which is once again, she goes for him, he disarms her, and then, starts to go to town. People might wonder why we're spending so much time on this, but I just think it's interesting that this classification seems to be quite against the guidelines. Now, in the original one, when it was an X certificate in 1973, and that would have been quite a fresh X certificate, as we all know, it really only came in 1972. Sorry, the revised X certificate came in 1972. The original one, of course, was for people 16 and over, and the 1972 X is for 18 and over. I'm getting sucked into BBFC posting. I've got to move on. They cut it. They did cuts to I think the first one, and I think they limited the second one as well. I couldn't get as detail on here, but they did cut it. They did cut it to bring it more in line with their policy on sexual violence.
Gotcha.
So there we go. In case you were wondering how they got away with that in light of BBFC policy, I'm sure that's exactly what people wanted to hear about in a High Plains Drifter stream. There we are.
There you go, Pandajit. The Eastwood character thinks the hotel owner's wife screwed him because he's an alpha male. But in reality, she was coerced by his mass killing. She wanted to save her husband. Again, perfectly. I kind of read it that way. And then sort of like the morning happens, and then she's just like, be careful. Like all like caring and just, it's weird.
She might want to say she is interesting. Like, I can see that interpretation, but I think trouble is she leaves her husband straight afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think it's, no, she sees it as a moment when basically the edifice that the town is built on collapses. And she's just like, okay, I'm out after this. I'm out.
Well,
That's another thing as well that he does. He blows up a bloody hotel. That's ruined a man's business. And I'm thinking again.
Well,
in the lens of
the and talks. He cares more about the mine and what he did to hide it from the government than caring about her. And she's like, I can't take this anymore. And
yeah. But I'm just thinking again, this is another man financially ruined because of this twat, basically. And again, remember, I'm speaking about it from the lens of from the lens that I was watching it through. At the time, when I was thinking, this is the good guy.
There's a real argument that basically, as long as they don't take his bait, it's all fine. But I mean, the thing they're being punished for is. The writer was inspired. The writer is Ernest Tidyman, who did The French Connection, very good film, with William Friedkin, and he was very interested in. Oh no, Maverick. Maverick. Yeah, he said he was inspired by the Kitty Genovese case, which I know it's more complicated than the original narrative. So I'm not going to go into that, but if you're interested, there is an NPR podcast. Yes, I am referencing and recommending NPR. We are a balanced and nuanced channel. They looked at the Kitty Genovese case in sort of autistic detail to show that actually it's not the horrible, depressing description that it was originally told about, where people saw a horrible crime happening and did nothing. It was actually a reality. They won't have seen it. I won't go into it. Basically, it's more complex than they originally heard, but that's what the writer was responding to, was the basic version of the story. So he wanted to do this thing about bystanders being punished. You'll see there's a bit of a wave of it because, I don't believe it was. When did we get Jodie Foster's The Accused? Wasn't that long after this, was it?
Late 80s.
No,
early
late
90s.
80s. I'm an idiot. She was about 11 at this time, wasn't she?
Yeah, Taxi Driver
I'm an idiot.
Taxi Driver's closer to this.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'll take the L.
I love Dylan's comment there. Love how naive crime guy is. Whoa, man, ambiguous westerns. Mate, I proper was back. was proper like, oh shit. I wasn't expecting there to be some sort of deeper message, man. It wasn't until after I was like ranting in Discord to Chloe and Murgoot, and then they were like, "You understand the film is like this, right? This is what the film is saying." And I'm like,
we do also we watch a lot of films from way back where there is just what they call values dissonance, and you're just like, hang on, what?
Yeah.
Literally, there is a guy who's a good guy, like, how about James Bond in Goldfinger? He's like, yeah, Pussy Galore, I'm just going to shove her to the ground in the hay and wrestle her and have my way. And it's like,
yeah,
James, buddy,
yeah.
What are we doing, big guy? It's I don't know.
I saw the light after the fact, very much after the fact, when I sort of like when my temper simmered down after like thinking, my God, what a crap film. I mean, this is not a good film. If this is the guy I'm supposed to be rooting for, they can get right and royally. And then after about a couple of hours, I was like, actually, do you know what? The town deserved everything they got. The town. Just go away, burn. You're literally living in hell now. It's the end of the movie. All your buildings are red, and the town name's been replaced with hell. You are literally living in hell.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Poor Marshall Duggan's words. Damn you to hell. Well, he literally puts.
He literally did.
And the thing is, they can go. They are punished for their inaction for watching something happen. And again, it's not like the bandits were the good guys. They are awful too, and they also pay. But the thing is, the town brought them in to help them cover up a crime. And then they all stick around. They're all comfy there. And basically, they can just leave. But They don't. And so while they stick around, the stranger will basically happily lead them to their death. And by the way, if you want some real, I've got some tin foil for you if you want. Do you want to know how?
Go for it.
Do you want to? Oh, nice. Do you want to know how well this is foreshadowed in the film, right from the start?
Go for it.
Look at this. The barber, he's got a terrible cover-up, right? A terrible cover-up. Genius. Right?
Oh, I was thinking more Bobby Charlton at that point than.
No, I'm having a bit of fun there, but there is genuinely something like that. It's funny that their barber has a terrible hairstyle, but it's also like it does genuinely kind of talk to like a level of dishonesty in the town, that they're all kind of, you know, there's something not right here. They're all keeping stum about something. Although, I'll just put this out here for you folks, because obviously we have a range of perspectives on this panel. The marshal was going to dob them in for technically their mine was in fact on government land. I'm like, that's pretty gross, isn't it? What a grass. I'm not saying he deserved to be bullwhipped to death, but I mean...
That's... Yeah, I had a problem with that too.
Oh no, government land, how terrible. We're such bad people. That's government land.
The thing is...
We bought land 5 meters to the right of it. Oh gosh.
The thing is government land, it's... Even back in 1846, you could buy a claim on government land and mine it. All they had to do was pay the fee and do the upkeep. At the time, it was like $50. And they could do whatever they needed to with the land as long as they put in a road and drainage. They didn't bother doing that. They illicitly did it, and the marshal's like, no, you need to pay the fee, and they killed him for it.
Yeah, I assume they had like a regular, like they had actually got some kind of permit, but the good stuff just ended up being a bit away from it. I don't know, man. I find it hard to hate them for that. You know, it's hardly, ow. Bugger, what's the Ursula Le Guin novel? The Ones Who Walk Away from Place Beginning with O, and it's not Orthanc, but my brain is only giving me Orthanc. Chat. Was it Omelas? Like it's not like the town is built upon like foundationally dependent on the torture of a small child. It's a license. It's a government license. I don't know, man. I don't think they did that wrong. Just saying. Marshall, bit of a snitch. Maybe I've read too much Rothbard. Who knows?
Yeah. Pandergy. Yeah, land usage disputes, especially ranch land disputes, water disputes. They still have them now. They're well known to the people that are in rural sections, but they're not as well talked about as they used to be. They got really, really violent. And they still do.
Oh, no doubt. Oof. I was gonna move into discussing how well it did the horror segments, but I don't know. Do you guys want to go in that direction, or?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Yeah.
I mean, the title of the video is "Horror Hiding in the West," and all it's missing is a question mark.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, the first things first is the struggle snuggle in the beginning and the one later on, and how he pits the town against each other and the biblical references, and him slyly renames Lago Hell. I mean, he's cheekily setting him up to make it an inferno in the end.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's sending them all to hell, literally.
Yeah, we got literally has them set up a welcome party. I mean, we pointed out there is I don't think it lands as horror early on. It's definitely unsettling when Callie is is sexually violated straight away. The shooting of the guys is just like, okay, standard Western fare. It becomes creepy later, but I talked about some of the already like creepy stuff, like when you realize he's wrecking their town with his antics, like, excuse me, making Mordecai the sheriff and the mayor, like they don't really realize how much he's mocking them and subverting them. But then, yeah, by the time they are literally painting the town all red like hell, I'm like, this is going to a pretty bad place. Like, this is pretty bizarre. And when the bandits actually come, we've had a few scenes quite sensibly making darn sure we know there's no revision here. They are actually bad guys. They are awful. They're horrible people. And they're quite good at what they do. So when we see them actually driving in, with the welcome, riding in, they literally have like the welcome mat laid out for them. That there is and he just rides off, having established these guys are absolutely crap at defending themselves. There is a sort of sinking horror of it. I thought was quite effective. Like they are helpless.
It does almost feel like he has completely abandoned them at that moment, you know, because he doesn't appear. I mean, given the time of day that they roll in, and then obviously when he does sort of strike back, you know, you'd imagine that the townsfolk would have been held in that bar for several hours. You know, so yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, but the townsfolk were just absolute cowards, and it was almost like, I mean, they were not up for the plan. I mean, that bit where Mordecai goes in to sort of rally them and get them out of the, you know, they're already drinking and, you know, essentially building up that Dutch courage, and, you know, there's no enthusiasm about it. You know, there's almost like there's no hope, and that, I wouldn't say that's a horror thing, but I would just say that's just sad. You know,
do you remember 30 Days of Night?
I do remember.
Yeah, look, I got similar vibes of the scene where the vampires can finally get loose.
Yeah,
like they've been holed up for a while. When they actually get loose and they can just go rampaging, there is I describe it like a sinking feeling. Like the just loss of hope for the people in the town. Even though we don't particularly like them, that hits here.
Yeah.
I found that an effective horror. You know, it's not machete through the eyeballs. It's not someone torn apart by chains, but it is an effective sense of horror.
Creeping despair leading to climax.
Yes, absolutely. It's two groups of fairly bad people, but you still feel bad for them when they're helpless and like, they're just going to be avenged upon.
I mean, I mean, the way I sort of saw it was, you know, obviously you've got the three antagonists, you know, yes, bad, boo, but then you've also got the stranger, bad, boo. And then you've got the townsfolk, and they're just pathetic. I don't necessarily think they're bad. I just think
No, they're
they are
cowardly
weak,
and evil.
pathetic, cowardly. Yeah, cowardly. Yeah, they're just snivelly, you know, not to be trusted. And I think that, you know, that brings about its own kind of disdain.
They are
than you would normally
amoral.
get for
One of the good bits early on, like the Kelly getting violated, isn't just like for shiggles. Like she goes to the meeting of the townfolk. I don't have the screen cap. Where is it? I've got the townsfolk meeting, and it's quite a nice shot of the room.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at this. Good lads. They basically say what's happened. No one denies it, but they're like, yeah, but we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And it's just proof that they are not going to stick to the line. They're not going to hold their values.
Yeah, which is a shame because, again, like, you know, the sheer number of them, right? You've got these three guys that they're worried about coming in. If they all banded together, they would have absolutely overwhelmed those three. And the same with Clint, you know, and the same with Clint or the stranger. Sorry, you know, they don't actually realize how much power they do have, other than in the sort of systems they've created. But then they don't even implement them, you know, because they just I think it's just like power for the sake of it, power by name in like name only,
excessively pragmatist.
Yeah,
no moral foundation.
No, why do we need to fight? Why do we need to put our lives at risk? We've got one guy who we don't know, who we have no emotional ties to, that we can just go, yeah, we'll throw you to the lions. You know, you seem like you might be able to protect us. Well, actually, no, you can do it yourselves. But you just choose not to because you're fucking pussies.
And this film consistently displays numerous examples of that moral flaw that originally comes in when they arrange for Duggan to be offed. You know, the original sin of this film. We do not count violating a license for mining as the original sin. But it shows that their lesson has not been learned, which is why it's so easy for the stranger to bait them and for them to walk straight into, follow his plan and walk up into their fate. Good writing, Ernest Tidyman. And also,
you want to talk about a scary moment, a supernatural moment?
Heck yeah, I do.
The speed at which that guy gets out of bed, changes, and puts a decoy in the bed in place before the four walk in, because that woman literally walks out the room, sort of gives the guys a look, and they go straight in. That door barely shuts. That door barely shuts.
I will confess that is, I mean, it's a good. We should probably time it, to be honest. It's a great explosion, but I will say, I don't know. Maybe I just like my Fellowship of the Ring too much, but I'm so bored of it's a decoy in the bed thing. Like, it's one of those things, like, you see it and you just know, come on, it's a decoy. It's one of those things you can't hide. Yeah, like when someone chokes someone else in a fight, it's like, you're gonna lose. Anyone who choked someone else in a fight, that's a stalling maneuver until the good guy can win. And it's just like every time I see it, you just know. Anyway, Patrick Batman, being very patient, I'm afraid. We went on a tangent. Thank you so much for your patience and for the £10. It's very much appreciated. Saying, the dwarf Mordecai reminds me of all the outcasts, these grapists. Thank you. People that are at the bottom of society that were recruited by the Soviets. He has no power without Clint, so is viciously loyal to him. I love that point. I love that point.
Yeah. Just before we get to Paul Allen's second super chat, or however many latest, I should say, super
chat. Thank you very much.
Lakataku says, again, Pastor is the only guy that really opposes the stranger and helps people from the hotel. I'm going to push back on that a little bit. Well, I'm going to push back on that a little bit because he does. Because obviously, when the stranger's like, well, then you probably wouldn't have a problem putting them in your house, huh? The reaction to it is, okay, guys, you can sleep in the homes of other people, and it's not going to cost you any extra than you're already paying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's nothing.
Preacher's a hypocrite too.
Yeah.
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 As we saw in the beginning, he says, guys, I don't feel so good about this. It's like, well, you're still here, aren't you?
Yeah.
I can't remember what they said to him, but basically they did give him like a moral test and he backed down to be pragmatic. Paul Allen, the point is extremely good. Yeah, it's very bio-Leninist. And I quite like the strand of the movie that showed that people will happily punch Mordecai. Like they're clocking down and you see like really...
I love that.
These folks have no respect for authority. And of course, Mordecai doesn't deserve respect. He is promoted out of spite, out of pure spite. But yeah, you see he's quite a pathetic, vulnerable figure. And you know that, yeah, he is done for the second Clint leaves. But while he has got the power, he is kind of, what can I say? He's both excessively loyal to Clint, but also he enjoys having the power. He's not a great guy. Like all of them are flawed.
But you can tell 2/3 of the way through the movie that he's also in on the joke.
Mm-hmm.
And he's enjoying it because he's the helpless one. He's the only one who gave the warning to the marshal, and then he hid under the horse trough because he was powerless. But he
has a more legitimate claim to be powerless. Yeah.
His claim is a legitimate one, I would say.
But he's also in on the joke, and he's enjoying it just the way he stares people down, and it's like you can tell he's enjoying watching these asshole town folks getting their comeuppance all the way through it.
Absolutely.
If only because of the way he's always been treated, if not just he understands that this guy's reversing the roles of the marshal and taking out the trash. He understands it.
Yeah. Definitely in on the joke. I like that take. That is a more nuanced take than the way I put it, actually, Murgoot. That's a good one. Paul Allen, I want to address this. This is an interesting one. So Patrick Batman has sent in another £5. Thank you very much. Adding to it, it's very Old Testament punishment from God. The horror is being abandoned by God to be taken by godless Egyptians, Assyrians, Babylonians. I was just finishing that. I think it's the end of Judges last night. But basically it's when it's a section when the dodgy priest Eli, his sons Phineas and Hophni, close to that. Basically, they're meant to be they're meant to be treating the Ark of the Covenant sacredly, and instead that they're literally shagging birds outside the tent of the covenant. Disgraceful. And they think, oh, we're going to win the battle. We'll take the covenant in with us, because that always worked in the past. And instead, because they have been unrighteous, the Philistines kidnap them, slay them, take the Ark of the Covenant, and God just abandons them. He withdraws himself because they were not living up to it. And then you need Samuel to come. It might have been the start of Samuel, actually. It might have been 1 Samuel. It's between Judges and Samuel that you get Phineas and Hophni. But yeah, suffice to say, yes, it's a good description as referenced in the Old Testament a fair amount. Thank you again for super chat. So you get you get bonus stuff on here. It's not just BBFC. You get Old Testament posting as well.
Hallelujah, brother.
Distonite has sent in $5 Aussie. Thank you very much, Distonite, saying, oh, on the decoy thing. Come on. I like the decoy head in Alcatraz. I'll give you Alcatraz. I'll give that. Is that the Birdman of Alcatraz or Escape from
No,
Alcatraz?
that's Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood, where he plots his escape.
For ages.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since it came out. I didn't watch it in the theaters. I watched it when it first hit HBO, but Alcatraz and then The Onion Field, which was just depressing. But
don't know, but well, you can be forgiving. It's just the trouble is, man, they milk it, they build it up like they're asleep under the covers, covering their entire head, which is how everyone sleeps, of course. Everyone Dutch ovens themselves every night. That's totally normal behavior. I won't even check. I'll just get through. It's just one of those things that you see it too much. Like, what is it? Like, oh, my gun has been knocked to the floor and it slid just out of reach. I'm just gonna spend the whole fight stretching for my gun, etc. You just, maybe if you watch a normal amount of movies, it doesn't bother you, but you just see a trope too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just why I'm a bit harsh on it. So the decoy scene did not fool me in the least. Not even counting that, as TCG said, he had about 3 seconds to do that.
Yeah, nowhere near enough time.
Nowhere near. Oh dear. Was Eli dodgy? Yeah, if I remember, Eli. So I think Eli was actually a Levite, so he was meant to be a priest, but he just did not keep up with his duties. He was not meant to be. What was it he actually did? It's like someone goes rogue and hires a Levite priest, and I think he takes money for it. And then he lets his sons have positions, and they also don't keep up with temple practices. So I'm just trying to remember that. But that's 1 Samuel or the end of Judges. But it's a long way from like Eleazar and his son Phineas. Like it's a long fall. But no more Old Testament posting, partly because I can't remember it well. Anyway, Old Testament Mordecai story. I do not remember Mordecai. I can't remember where it comes. I think you said, was that Book of Esther? I think you posted at there. Yes, Book of Esther. You referenced Book of Esther. I'm not as familiar with that one. So do forgive me, Joe. Do forgive me. Manjeet's saying it's the Old Testament at the decision point. Does it go New Testament or not? The townspeople got to choose. They could have moved on. They could have forgiven. They could have not taken the bait. They could have. Yeah, I mean, they could have confessed as well.
Yeah.
They could have confessed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Mordecai is the one who works his magic on the Persian king. Right.
Is that what we're calling AA these days?
We love our AA. We love our AA. We especially love the recent, more esoteric Improve Your Life videos. I genuinely like those. But yeah. Okay. We were doing this as part of the effective horror of the film, and I think we talked about the sort of more unconventional horror, so that feeling of despair as he leaves and abandons, and like, oh God, you are really just going to let them get wiped out? Oh my God. But after that, we do have, as I said, the more conventional stuff when he just comes back and like this is straight up slasher movie stuff.
Yeah, slasher / cowboy.
Slasher / cowboy.
When the burning, silhouetted by the burning town, the throwing the lantern and throwing his voice to attract the guy into the barn and then strangling him. Stuff like that. It's conventional revenge, but it's very, very dramatic about it. It's very, very hellish, and it's meant to be.
Yeah, it very effective. I thought it just, by the time you got there, you've really earned this. You were in very literally dark territory. It looks like at this point the horror aesthetics are there. I think the only thing that slightly diminishes it is that you don't really have any sympathy for the bandits. So it can have like the horror of the violence and the imagery, but I think like the emotional horror doesn't land because you don't feel the bandits are getting a fate they don't deserve.
But there's nobody really. Yeah, I was saying there's nobody really that you're rooting for in this film.
Mm.
Well,
To me, there's like no clear.
Jason's Friday the 13th 6 or Friday. Jason Takes Manhattan, where you're cheering for Jason rather than.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm cheering from every film, so you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, there's nobody really to, as I say, to sort of like pin your hat on and sort of say, yeah, I'll root for these people. Like the townsfolk, we've established they're not really good people. They are probably deserving everything they get. We already know that the main antagonists, the three lads, are absolutely degenerate themselves and absolutely will deserve everything they're getting. And then, you know, the guy that we should be rooting for is literally a rapist. It's just like, come on.
He's an anti-villain. He's
disgusting, Dylan.
Dylan. Wave function has described this really well. The supernatural element is subtle and implied. The townsfolk are the horror. I like that phrasing. Yeah, that subtle horror is like what's beneath the surface. The only thing, as we said, that doesn't stop you. If you really want the horror landing, you've got to be empathetic for the victims. That's that deep level of emotional horror, and this can't quite touch it at the end because they blooming deserve it.
Who do you think I am, Dylan? Do you think I'm like a 40-something bearded man with a card playing fetish in a Walmart?
Oh God.
In the shoe aisle.
Oh. Can you imagine someone needs to just do like the shot of like some Walmart worker looking absolutely horrified, like POV. You're a wagey starting your shift and the Hamley walks in and you're on the cleaning rota.
Between the employment terms and the things that happen in Walmart, they should be getting PTSD pay.
Do you know? I mean, that story is funny in itself, but like the fact that someone like paid them 500 quid to get that story out of him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's worse in that scenario. Although, mind you, I tell you what. Actually, to be fair, if that was me who paid that 500 quid, and that story has like surfed the internet waves for years now, and has actually caught a second wave. Given last week, that's not a bad return on investment. I have to say, you know, that's pretty good. Caleb Hammer might actually be like, not bad.
Yeah, to prove it.
Yeah, your credit score is terrible, but this one thing you did, peak.
I did not take you for a Caleb Hammer viewer, Mr. TCG.
I've been binge watching him last couple of days.
They're great. Do you like watch all the way, or do you just like get the drama section and then be like, okay, here's the finances, man?
It depends. Yeah, so some of them I'll sort of switch to the next one, but I have actually stuck around for the finance bits because you know I've got a career. I've got a career in finance, so that bit genuinely does interest me as well. Like, I mean, yeah, people who can't budget. I share his frustration in that.
I love him just chimping and anytime he chimps and calls them beasts and creatures, there's just something so satisfying about the way he doesn't have to be polite, and he just kind of he says what we're thinking when someone is just like coming up with a BS excuse, and he's just like F you, F you, F you, just like cutting them off.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. It just, in an age of like very touchy-feely, you know, Hey, we
He
understand.
just don't
Like,
care. He just don't care.
he is the fat families of the financial world.
Oh, that show. Oh my
Right?
God.
There's a reference.
Do you know what
There's
pissed me off
something for
about?
you to look up, chat.
Do you
Look
know
up
what?
fat families.
What was it? Fat Camp, or what was it called? Or was it Fat? No, it wasn't Fat Families. It was like Fat Camp or something like that, right? That was what they called it for like the general population, the working class folk, right? But when they brought the celebrities in, oh, it was Celebrity Fit Camp.
Oh, Celebrity Fit. Yeah, yeah. That they didn't get. Oh, so I did not know they rebranded it.
Yeah, for just for the celebrities. When it was the celebrities, it was Celebrity Fit Camp. Weaklings, weak, pathetic.
I didn't know they'd done that again. Like they did that with Celebrity Love Island, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah.
What was it called? Slag
Rock.
Slag Rock.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do another tangent. Wave Function. They shouldn't do a remake of Scanners. The original is classic. You can't beat Michael Ironside.
I'm meaning to do a Scanners rewatch just because I don't have a great memory of it. But
we've covered it.
I'll go to
yeah.
No, we have not covered Scanners.
Oh, okay.
We've talked about it plenty, but we've never covered
Epstein
it
Island, it's
explicitly.
called. But earlier,
Skank Rock. I like it.
Yeah.
Chat,
Epstein
if
Island.
you just want to come up with your like horrible renames for Love Island, the only thing I'm struggling is I can't think up many synonyms for island. Skank Archipelago. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm useless on my
Let's step away for a minute. Are we talking about Fat Camp? We were briefly.
We were.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Scanners, I'd be open to a remake just because, like, what we said consistently about Cronenberg, the ideas are great, the execution is sloppy as a dropped kebab. You know, that's where he goes wrong. Like, every Cronenberg film is messy as hell, even if the ideas are incredible. Whereas a remake can take those ideas and just like polish it a little bit. I don't know. Folks, we've hit 2 hours and I think we're getting into silly territory. Shall we move on to our closing thoughts and scores of this rather excellent film?
Yeah, I'm happy to start things off.
Go for it.
I could have come into this stream with a very different viewpoint had it not been for Horrorshow and Murgoot very articulately telling me actually what the theme of this film was, because I was raging. I was genuinely raging. How the hell am I supposed to like Clint Eastwood in this film? I really like Clint Eastwood, but I can't like him in this film. I'm gonna like him, but not the character. Absolutely shit character, yada yada yada. You know, this is not the kind of protagonist I want to support. You know, if this is their version of anti-hero, they can go themselves. And then I realized I was wrong. I was looking at this film wrong. And it's not about saving the day. It is ultimately about punishing an entire town for an original sin. And I think actually this film is pretty decent. It is pretty good. I would highly recommend it. So yeah, dodgy ketchup though in the dream sequences when they had the man, when they had the marshal. Yeah, but other than that, pretty solid film. 9 out of 12 burgers. As I say, bit of dodgy ketchup, ectoplasm for mayonnaise, and you're being force fed it.
Yes. Yeah. In fairness, yeah, the gore at the time, it's like they're weird about what you can show. They're weird. You're moving away from 60s stuff, but you're not in like the nice 80s effects era. So you can get some makeup.
To be fair, the effects. I mean, this obviously, I don't think this looked incredibly high budget by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's a simple western. I thought, in terms of the budget, was sort of would probably be around sort of like where you'd expect like a budget to be. I guess like not very high.
5 million. 5 million. They made it.
There you go. Yeah, I think. But again, I think they've done really well. I mean, the sets look great. Yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend it. I definitely recommend it. Just don't go into it thinking it's just like a stereotypical like white cowboy hat wearing, black cowboy hat wearing. This guy's the good guy. This guy's the bad. No, it's not that. It's not that at all.
Nope. So okay, I'm happy with that score. I'm forced burgers as well.
You don't like being force fed to begin with, I should point out, but about halfway through, you do kind of like start to appreciate the burger.
Yeah, I'll go on then.
No, I'll finish it. Go
like
on,
when
then.
someone orders a few extra sides, and you're like, "Oh, come on, we're not going to manage that," but
can't
get into it, don't you?
One. Yeah, did that last night actually. My boy, no, not last night, the other night. My boy, bless him, because he works at a chippy, sorted me out for the trip to Thorpe Park. He didn't have to, but he did. And I'm sitting there, big old plate of chips. I'm just sitting there like, I can't eat another one. What? Just put it in. Oh, the plate's empty. Oh, turns out I could. Fantastic.
Good lad. What a dream job. How about yourself, Murgoot? How are we scoring this one? Closing thoughts and scores.
10 solid flame broiled burgers, a couple of really nasty pickles, so on the ketchup. It's a good strong 10. It's a brilliant first directorial effort on a Western. I still prefer Pale Rider, but as a supernatural Western film, this one was pretty good.
I'm chuffed with that. It does play it more. Maybe it plays it more subtle because it was a more novel idea. I don't know. I think it's fair. It's also really useful. Maybe we could say, Pale. If you liked this, Pale Rider is your next stop, and also as Joe has done a good job in recommending, Yojimbo. If you liked High Plains Drifter, those two films are fantastic follow-ons. Pale Rider and Yojimbo. And of course, Unforgiven, as you mentioned at the start. A lot of people seem to be with you. I'm seeing 9s, 10s, 11 out of 12. Jay has gone for 9, deducting 1 burger for No Tony Todd, and the first ever William Dafoe demerit that I've ever seen. Don't really object to it. Yeah, very good take. So 9 on that. An 11 from Patrick Batman. It was very good. How about myself? It's easily a 9. This was a great watch. We were watching this until late in the night, even though we shouldn't have, because we were absolutely hooked. That is a very good sign. It absolutely gripped me and waifu. We were very hooked in. There are lovely details, fantastic foreshadowing. Just, it's very well constructed. And I think the filmmaking is ahead of its time, even if we can do more ambitious stuff today. The way he just sort of made the full set really made it a nicer looking film. It does look gorgeous. It's very original. I know, man. I was hooked. There's also lots of stuff where it doesn't hand you the explanations. There's plenty there that you don't have to think too hard to work out what's going on, but you don't have him, I think, at any point saying, I will now go over to the bandits and rile them up. It's just like, it's clear enough, you understand the characters well enough, you can put it all together. No horrific exposition. I love it. So, gosh. 9.5. I don't know if I can take it all the way to a 10, but I had a really good time with this one. Probably a little bit of the some of the handling of the characters is a bit awkward. I would like that horror element pushed up a little bit. In the finale, I'd probably like a bit more splatter. That's just me being a degenerate, but it was rather good. So I think a strong 9.5 burgers. So I really enjoyed this. I really, really did enjoy. I'm feeling like I'm stinging it now, but I'm going to stick with 9.5. I had a great time. So there we go. Now, folks, at this point, a very unified panel in comparison to previous weeks. We have like all tightened. Very, very hard agreement on this. I love it. Okay. Now, at this point, we've had a review, so it's horror homework time. TCG, as Murgoot made the choice last week, I have got 2 films in mind where to go. Would you like Shame or Compliance?
Oh, let's go. Let's go with Shame.
Shame. We're getting the full Fassbender.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Have you seen it before?
No.
Oh.
I've seen neither, to be fair. So either way, it should be.
Don't watch it with the family.
Okay.
Not one for the kids.
Right. Okay. Duly noted.
I'll just say I'm so glad you chose this. We will get to Compliance, but Shame is one of those films that I watched. I think I watched like 3 times in a weekend. One of those. This was a great film. Waifu, we've got to watch Shame. Well, yeah, let's watch it again. And I think I might have just put it on again. It's like what occasionally I do this. I'm so hooked on a film like The Big Short. I had this. I just watched it a couple of times in a row.
Okay.
I am very normal, I assure you, folks. I absolutely loved it. So fantastic. All right. Next week's homework is Shame from, I want to say, 2011, directed by Steve McQueen with Michael Fassbender and Carey Mulligan. An incredible film and a subtle hidden horror. It is horror of an extremely different variety. And you may... I might get some pushback on that one, on like, no, this isn't a horror at all, but bear with me. So we'll go and watch that next week. Shame from 2011. And I think Compliance is like 2012. There's a vibe. They're packed in together. August Sidling, is Keira Knightley in that one? No. Carey Mulligan is. Yeah, I think the only horror Keira Knightley's been in was The Hole, but I'm not sure about that. It's I don't know her catalogue all that well. There we go. All right. Well, I think that is everything, folks. You've had your discussion, many a tangent included, of High Plains Drifter, which we all loved. You have got your horror homework for next week. Shame. Yes, Shame, not Shane. Shame, the film about a nymphomaniac. There you go. So don't get confused. If you find yourself watching a Western again, you've made a mistake. All right. No, not Alan Ladd. No, Steve McQueen. You want the Steve McQueen film. That's what you want. All right. So that is your horror homework. I will see you next week. And I forgot what do I always say at this point? Wonderful. Yeah. So we've got all that stuff. Enjoy Shame. It's an absolute cracker. You will love it, I hope. But we'll discuss next week. I hope you got a lovely Friday tomorrow and a fantastic weekend after that. Thank you so much to all the generous super chatters and chat. Keep it funny. The great conversation this week.
Definitely, 100%.
And of course, massive thanks to Murgoot and TCG.
Pleasure, as always. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Just to let you know, I was going to go live at 10:30 over on my second channel for some Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I'm just going to push it back a little bit to 10:45.
A little break.
Yeah, do head over there as well. Link in the description. Link in the comments.
Yes, do it. There we go. There we go. There's the old linko. You can see it. All right, folks. I'll sign off there. Have a good one. Thanks, y'all. Cheers.